Hello everybody. Today we are going to start with the lesson 8 of science, that is cell structure and functions. What all things are we going to study in this chapter are discovery of cell, the cell theory, unicellular and multicellular organisms, level of organization, cell shapes and size, cell organelles, cell growth and cell division. In the structure of cell, we are going to study about the plant cell and the animal cell. So, let us start with the chapter. The first thing which we are going to study is the discovery of the cell. Robert Hooke was the first scientist to discover the existence of cells with the help of a microscope in 1965. He observed thin slices of cork under a microscope and saw honeycomb structures. The slices of cork appeared like small compartments which were further separated by a wall. So, the cell was discovered by Robert Hooke. Now, after that, the cell theory was presented. In the cell theory, the cell is the smallest unit of life. Cell is basic structural and functional unit of living organisms. New cells arise from pre-existing cells. And all organisms are composed of one or more cells. So, cell theory gave about the basic things of a cell. Now, next topic which we have is the variation in cell number, shape and size. Now, depending upon the cell number we have, on the basis of number of cells, living organisms can be classified into two categories, unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular organisms are living organisms consisting of a single cell, example amoeba and euglena. Multicellular are living organisms consisting of more than one cell, for example earthworm and the human being. Then when we come to the cell shape, the shape of cell differ not only in different organisms but also in different organs of the same organism. Which means that shapes can be spherical, they can be cuboidal, then they can be fiber-like or they can be polygonal. So, different cells have different kinds of shapes. Next is the cell size. The difference in size of organism is due to the number of cells present in them. The smallest cell, which is the pleuropneumonia-like organism, called the mycoplasma, is about 0.1 micron in diameter. And on the other hand, the largest cell, which is the ostrich's egg, is about 170 millimeters in diameter. So, the cell can be of different shapes and the cells can be of different sizes. Now, when we come to the next topic is levels of organization in living beings. When we study about levels of organization, the organization has a cell, then a tissue, an organ system, and the organ system makes the organism. If we define all these, first thing is the cell, that is the smallest unit of life, then the tissues which are made up of group of similar cells, then organs are made up of different tissues which form an organ like the liver, kidneys and stomach. Then the organ system, group of organs that work together to perform specific functions. Example, the entire digestive system, the entire circulatory system, it consists of different organs. Last is the organism, where different organ systems work together to form an organism. So this is known as the level of organization in an organism. Now we come to the cell organelles or the cell structures which we call. Okay, means what all things are present in a cell. First we come to the cell membrane. Outer membrane of the cell that controls the entry and exit of organisms according to the requirement of the cell. For example, that means that a cell membrane is a semi-permeable membrane. Next we have the cell wall. It provides rigidity, support and protection to cell. It also gives shape and size. It is only found in plants, fungi and bacteria, and it surrounds the plasma membrane or the cell membrane. That means it is a protective covering found in the plant cells. Next we have is the cytoplasm, the portion of the protoplasm lying inner to the cell membrane but outside the nuclear membrane. It comprises of gel-like substances that fills inside of the cell, and it contains the hereditary material. Next is the nucleus. It is separated by cytoplasm and by the nuclear membrane, directs all cell activities, contains genetic material which is known as the DNA. So this is about the nucleus. Now since nucleus is surrounded by a nuclear membrane, the nuclear membrane surrounds the nucleus. It is made up of two layers and allows, it is opening allow nuclear material to enter and leave the nucleus. Then we come to the chromosomes. Chromosomes, it is made of DNA and present in the nucleus. It is responsible for the inheritance of characters from one generation to the another. So this is about the chromosomes. Now we come to some important organelles which are present inside the cells. First of all, we should know that organelles are what? The cell organelles are, first thing, the plastids. Plastids are large organelles and characteristics of plant cells. Chloroplast provide green color and manufacture food for plant by the process of photosynthesis. And next comes the chromoplast, which provide color other than the green color. Then next we have the mitochondria. Now mitochondria is present in the animal cells also. So they are rod shaped or spherical structures. They are responsible for cellular respiration and produces energy for different activities. It is also called the powerhouse of the cell. It controls level of water and other materials in the cell. It recycles and decomposes proteins, fats and carbohydrates. So the important point about the mitochondria is that it is known as the powerhouse of the cell. That means it provides energy to the cell. Now next organelle which we have is the endoplasmic reticulum. It is network of membranes. It provides a skeletal framework to the cell and it moves material around in the cell. Next are the ribosomes. Each cell contains thousands of ribosomes. They make proteins present in the cytoplasm and float throughout the cell. Next we have the Golgi complex. Golgi complex are sac-like structures stacked one above the another to store the material which is produced by the cell. So they are known as the storehouse of the cell. Next are the vacuoles. Vacuoles are the empty places or empty space in the cytoplasm. It stores excess of water and waste products. In amoeba, it holds food for the digestion. Next we have the cilia and the flagella. They are small extensions on their cell membrane. They help in locomotion and collection of food. Paramecium has numerous cilia while Euglena has a single flagellum. So these are the important cell organelles which are present in the cells. Now here we can see a animal cell and a plant cell. Now all the organelles are present in the animal cell and the plant cells. Only the difference which we can see is that in the animal cell, see, there is a plasma cell membrane as the outermost layer. Inside we can see the endoplasmic reticulum, then the nucleus, ribosomes, Golgi complex and mitochondria. Okay, but when we talk about the plant cell, the outermost membrane is not the cell membrane but it is the cell wall. Okay, and the vacuole size is very large as compared to the animal cell. Now, when we study about these, we need to know about the differences between the plant cell and the animal cells. So the basic differences between the plant cell and the animal cells are, first, about the cell wall. In the plant cell, the cell wall is present. In the animal cell, it is absent. Cell membrane is present in both. Plastids are only present in the plant cells. They are absent in the animal cells. Mitochondria is present in both the cells. Nucleus is present in both the cells. Vacuole in the plant cell, it is very large and they are more in number because plant need to store a lot of amount of water and food. But in the animal cell, the vacuole is of very small size, or in many cases it is absent. Then the chloroplast. In the plant cell, chloroplast is present. In the animal cell, it is absent. Ribosomes are present in both the cells. Shape of a plant cell is fixed while the shape of an animal cell is irregular. Golgi complex is present in both, and the size of a plant cell is larger as compared to the animal cell. Now, the another topic or the last topic of this chapter is the cell division and the cell growth. Now, cell growth is when a cell is formed, it is small, but it gradually grows in size by taking nutrients, and after reaching certain size, it divides into two new cells. Now, when it divides into two new cells, it leads to cell division. Okay. Now, cell division is the process by which a parent cell divides into two or more daughter cells. Now, see in the figure, very easily we can see that a parent cell is given which enlarges in size. Okay. After enlargement, what will happen? The nucleus first of all will divide into two. Then after the nucleus, the outer body of the cell will divide into two daughter cells. So this way the cell division or the cell growth occurs. So in this chapter, what all things have we studied? The important topics which we have studied in this chapter are, first of all, about the discovery of the cell we have seen, then the cell theory, then the unicellular multicellular organisms, organization, plant cell and animal cell and their organelles and their divisions. So this is all about this chapter. The question answers and the worksheet will be given in the description box. So finish your work on time, and next we will be meeting for the next chapter, chapter 9. Till then, stay home and stay safe. Thank you.